Well, fellow WoW players, I guess there's more than just a few of us on here. No, seriously, this reading your stories, seeing the response to that one video, just that one simple picture that I know holds so much sentimental value to me, has been just overwhelming. I've loved reading each and every one of your comments and learning about your histories and how, well, we're not the only really weird ones out. And I say weird in the best possible way. It's been so much fun the last few days, and I absolutely love it. Please continue. That is fantastic. But hey, new video and new picture. So let's see what you guys think about the. So, a little bit of background. Um, Way back again, we're going to go into the Wayback Machine, a little bit of story time here. Back in '05, it was announced that there was going to be patch 1.9, and 1.9 was going to bring something very, very special to the world of Warcraft. And this was something that is still, to this day, almost 20 years later, still talked about as being one of those incredible moments in time that there's really no way to repeat it. Even when it was represented in WoW Classic just a couple of years ago, it wasn't quite the same. Being there the first time around and being able to say you were playing and you were there when this happened, it's there's something to it. Yep, that's it. Patch 1.9, the gates of Ahn'Qiraj. Again, still probably one of those great moments of World of Warcraft, and one that is still talked about. The buildup of it, the weeks leading up to it, getting everybody together, Horde and Alliance, everybody on every server working towards opening the gates. Who was going to do it first? When was it going to open? Seriously, you couldn't make a movie about and be quite as suspenseful. It was amazing. It kind of changed the landscape of how things were going up to that point. It was so unheard of for, I mean, admittedly, WoW hadn't been out incredibly long, but long enough. And was I there? Well, kind of. Unfortunately, I was not online and in Silithus when the gates actually opened. It didn't work out. I believe I was actually at work when it happened at the time, but I did help in the effort. I was part of that effort in gathering up the supplies and doing all the things. If you want to know exactly what went down, how it happened, what people had to do, there are a lot of videos out there that explain it in very great detail, and I highly recommend going and checking them out because truly, this was almost a Herculean effort for something really, really cool to happen. And it did finally happen. January 3rd of '06, the gates of Ahn'Qiraj opened, and WoW and Silithus was never quite the same, at least until that big ass sword showed up. But that's a whole other video. So at that point, generally when a raid showed up, I mean, you had Molten Core, you had Ahn'Qiraj, you had some of the originals. This one opened up two new raids, a 20-man and a 40-man, affectionately known as AQ40. And running AQ20 was one thing. Running AQ40 was a big ass deal. Long before Mythics came into the whole thing, running AQ40 for quite a while was the raid to run to get geared up if you were at that level. I was not. I just wasn't there. Unfortunately, that wasn't my character. But in the years since, almost 20 of them as a matter of fact, I have actually gone back into Silithus and just for shits and giggles, gone through them. Now, at this point, with the characters at the levels they are, with the gear that we have, with the changes to the system overall, yeah, I'm basically able to kind of walk into either one on my own solo and just kind of look at the raid trash wrong and they just kind of, unalive. Done. The only place that I've ever had problems in either of those, and it's kind of hard to say trouble because the mechanics were made for a group, not for a solo person. And I respect that because it was originally for 20-man and 40-man raids. But Cthulhu at the end of 40 is a bitch. And soloing that when you are a druid, a balanced druid, sucks. Can it be done? Absolutely. I've done it once. I never want to go through that again. It took multiple tries to be able to do it. Now, I will admit, I'm decent. I'm not like going to be ranked up there with any of the big dogs in terms of DPS, but oh god, that was a pain in the ass. And of course, we know since 1.9 all the way now to the War Within, the Black Empire and the old gods and all their effects. We've been Denialotha. We've been, if you've been playing, you know all the effects. And now with the War Within, now we're not entirely sure that all of those gods are really. Did we really kill them? Did we really take them out? They might still be around somewhere, and Cthulhu is part of that. If nothing else, several of the old gods that we have supposedly unalived, well, they have been telling us, they've been warning us, they've been slipping us little bits of lore, bits, information, whispers and whatnot, that now seem to be finally playing out in the War Within. And remember, War Within is just the first of the 3. We have Midnight next, and that's going to be our Empire Strikes Back. It is. We're gonna lose, and we're gonna lose hard. But then, more than likely, we're gonna come back with the Last Titan. And if Azeroth is going to crack open and show up in some way, shape, or form as the Titan that she probably is, that's where it's going to show up, and somehow it's going to come back in dramatic fashion. So the old gods are playing into this, and I would not be surprised to see Cthulhu, who is in AQ, along with a number of the others, kind of be playing a hand in this. Now, all of that from those 2 pictures. It's amazing what, when you go back and you really, something sparks those memories, and all of a sudden, like, the dots start getting put together. I love the lore of Azeroth and the world of Warcraft. There's a lot to it. But for me, as a storyteller, the story is everything. Mechanics are, you deal with them, you work with them, they play a purpose, and you can have fun with them if you're creating them or utilizing them in just the right ways. But for me, it is story over mechanics any day, and there is so much story to be had in Azeroth. So a little bit of World of Warcraft history for you, for those who remember AQ and the opening of the gates at Ahn'Qiraj. Just one of those big moments in the history that will probably never be forgotten. So, what about you guys? Were you there? Were you at the opening of the gates? And what are your moments? What are the moments that just stick in your mind as being some of the biggest? Just let me know. Let's keep talking.